What's going on, world? It's your boy Alex Miner. Welcome to the 1000 Miles podcast. They say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So on this podcast, we follow the steps that business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives are taking on their journeys. So hopefully you can take a lesson from that and figure out what to do on your walk, on your journey, so that you can start making some progress. And today's episode is starring the one and only Michelle Welch, also known as the Momtrepreneur. And why don't you go ahead? You got so much stuff going on. I don't want to forget something. So why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself and yeah, just tell us a little bit about who you are. And especially I just need to know, what are all the different businesses that you have? Because I can't keep track.
Yeah. So my name is Michelle Welch and I am a momtrepreneur. I'm a mother and an entrepreneur. And, I have multiple businesses, so I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'll go ahead and list everything out. So I have a cleaning company, Welch Enterprise Services. We do commercial cleaning. We do event cleanups, all of that great stuff on the janitorial side of things. I also am a certified life and business coach. I have Amplify Concepts coaching, where I coach business owners, entrepreneurs, people that just in general need their confidence back, need strategic planning on how to get their foot in the door, or if they're in business, marketing strategy, everything basically on startups. I position myself to do to focus on and hone in on service-based businesses. So I'm like the queen of service-based businesses. I also have a catering company that I share with my parents, so they handle that, but that's something that I started. I have a nonprofit women's network called the Momtrepreneur Network, and I started that because when I started my journey, I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't have resources. So I was like, if I can't find anything, I'm going to create it at that point. So that's what I did. We're going on 2 years strong with that. And we're about to start pumping out some events for the women of Orlando. And it's not just based for mothers. It's for entrepreneurial women that are just looking for what is their next step. You know, there's a lot of women in Orlando that are doing amazing things as far as empowering. But I think that sometimes we forget that, we can empower somebody, but after that 72 hours and it rubs off, where's the resources at? Where's the help? Where's the follow-up? So that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to provide the resources. So the Momtrepreneur Network is something very dear to my heart. So we're here to provide resources for the women in Orlando, and hopefully take that, abroad. And then I also am in partnership with the tax office, Elephant Taxes with Natia. And we're killing it here with that.
Awesome.
This is one of the newest endeavors that I got into with her. And it's amazing. And then after Elephant Tax, we're going to be starting something. We're launching it on March 20th called Elephant Elite. So it's going to be a combination of Amplify Concepts coaching is going to switch over to Elephant Elite. And what we're going to be doing is providing startup assistance, business coaching, it's actually everything that's on this board.
Okay.
So we are going to be doing courses. We're going to be doing effective communication for business owners. Everything that you would need as an entrepreneur and small business owner to start and get your foot in the door, we're providing. Okay. Because the problem that we found and where we resonated the most with is that everybody doesn't know where to start. You can Google it, you can look at everybody else's journey, but it's who's going to actually give us a handbook? Who's going to help us play by play with creating that solid foundation and that solid structure? Because a lot of the times is when people become entrepreneurs and business owners is they don't build that solid foundation. And one main example I can give you is when you build on cement, when the waves start coming in and crashing on you, you're able to withstand. When you build on sand, the first thing that'll happen is things will start chipping away.
Right.
So we want to create that cement for business owners and small business owners, particularly entrepreneurs. I know I'm missing a business. I know it. I feel like I am.
I don't know how you keep track in your day-to-day life. Honestly, that just sounds like overwhelmed city to me.
I mean, but the thing is that I'm great with time management. I'm great with planning. Oh, the Momtrepreneur Academy. So
okay, that's the one.
Yes, I also have courses on everything that I do.
Right.
So my first course was the time management masterclass because as being because I'm not only my mother, I'm a special mother. I'm a single mother. So I have 2 boys. I have a 2-year-old who's almost 3, and I have a 7-year-old who's almost 8. So, and I have boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've got a girl and a boy, 7-year-old girl, 4-year-old boy.
So you get it.
Yeah,
oh
totally.
my gosh. So I'm in the stage of the terrible twos. Terrible twos.
Oh, trust me. My daughter's twos were Oh,
yeah, and
stuff
then
of legend.
Exactly. So it's like, but with my 7-year-old Landon, I didn't go through a terrible 2 stage. So I think it's like the payback for not going through that.
Well,
but it's just
my
like,
son's terrible 2s were less, but they were still.
yeah,
They were
I mean,
still
I had
pretty
my
bad.
moments, but it definitely, Trevor is a different child in his own right. And that's great because I love it. He gives his personality. But it's just like managing the two. So I don't consider it balance. I consider it work-family integration.
Okay.
Because my kids, they're with me all the time. So it's just like when, and my parents play a very big role in our lives. They're my structure. They're my backbone. They help me with everything. But it's like my parents have their lives too. So in the moments that I'm with, my kids and everything like that, it's just like, if I got to get work done, we got to do it together. Okay. So a lot of times I'll have, Trey with me, while I'm typing up things. And if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I am Michelle Welch, you'll see like I post time-lapse videos of me and Trey, like, cause Landon, he's older. He'll do his own thing. He'll go build his robots or do whatever he likes to do. But Trey's like, oh, when mommy's working, I want to be on top of mommy. So it's like, he'll be sitting here, and it's so funny because this is his notebook. And he'll be sitting with me, and he'll be drawing and coloring, and I'll be on a conference call or whatever. But it's work-family integration because I'm in this season where I'm in right now, where it's like it's tax season. I have coaching clients. They need my attention. They pay for my attention. So it's like I got to make sure that I get their homework out. I got to make sure that our tax returns are reviewed properly. I got to make sure that me and Natia, we're on the same page while we're working and getting our things together. And it's just, if I have to have the baby on top of me, we got to make sure it works. Right. So, and just being able to find the balance as well as with self, taking that moment. So Sundays I don't work. Like I position myself to where my phone goes on D&D. If it's that important that you need to contact me, like we'll figure it out. But other than that, like one thing I had to realize was that I was running myself into the ground. I was working 18-hour days, 7 days a week because I'm like the hustle. Yeah, you can have the hustle, but you have to remember, if you don't focus on yourself, like if you're not good, business is not good. And that's one main thing that I had to learn, because within Welch Enterprise, which formerly was Queen Cleaning Concepts, that's how I made my mark as an entrepreneur. I failed many times because I was so burnt out, because I was in the hospital, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating. I wasn't balancing, everything and having that time for myself. So. Okay.
So let's step back a second, because like you've got this empire going now, like, or in the process. And so let's go back to the beginning for a quick second. How did this all start? How did the inspiration come? Like what made you choose a cleaning company to start with? And then what were some of those, you mentioned that you had failures, roadblocks, things that you had to get over to make that work. What were some of those at the beginning? Like, and
So Queen Cleaning Concepts was my first business. That's what, in 2017, that's kind of what ignited the fire in me. So I had, Landon I already had, he was 5. Trey was born on April 4th. And I knew that I had to do more, be more, because my kids only had me at that point. And when I went back to work and I was still breastfeeding Trey, I just like that detachment. And then Trey was a preemie. So I was like, he needs me. Like, I can't be going to work. So I was always depressed. I was always crying. And finally, like, I had the idea of Queen Cleaning Concepts back in 2015. But I felt like at that time I wasn't positioned to be the woman that needed to run a company. I was like cool with my job. I didn't really care. I was like free spirit, yada, yada, yada. So when I had Trey, that kind of was like, that's what made me click. Like, I got to do more, because, I'm making good money at this job, but like, I got to do more. Right. So I had Trey on April 4th, and then May 12th, I filed my LLC. And May 17th, I booked my first cleaning. And I already had, from 2015, I already had the ideas down and everything. I just needed to kind of like restructure them to fit the times that we were in now. But I knew. So I took some money. I literally took like $200, and I went to the Dollar Tree. I went to Walmart, and I bought some cleaning supplies. And I started posting on social media. I went on Facebook and I was like, hey guys, I'm launching my cleaning company. I went on Instagram. You know, I showed the process.
Okay.
So one thing that was really big for me was I'm a really great storyteller. So I told my story of how I was like, I'm going to be this crazy business owner. And I spoke it. I always was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I did it. Like, that was it. You know, I stayed up late at night. You know, I was with the kids. I was being a mom. And I was like, I have to make this work. Like, there is no other way. I have to make this work. So once I booked my first cleaning in June, I booked my first commercial building. And at that point, I was like, yo, if I can book one cleaning.
Wait. Was the first cleaning a commercial building?
No, the first cleaning was like an apartment. And then I had them residually bi-weekly. And then I started getting like more little houses and things like that throughout the month of May. And then June, it just fell into my lap. I got it. And then come July 10th, 2017, that's how quick it happened. I was like, I woke up one day and I was crying. I was in tears. And at the time I was living with my parents. And my mom was like, Michelle, what's wrong? I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I cannot get up and go to work anymore. And mind you, I was still working while I had my cleaning company.
Oh,
and I was like, she's like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm quitting. I'm not going today. I'm never going to go to, I'm not doing it. And she was like, okay, we got your back. Like, do it. Make it work. And from there, it was like a fire lit under my ass. And I was like, I got mouths to feed.
Right.
We got to make this money. And literally, I never worked so hard in my life. I was literally busting out 2 to 3 houses a day. Like, I was not playing with nobody.
And this was you by yourself.
This was me by myself. This was me by myself with a 2-month-old baby, breastfeeding, taking care of my other son still. Like, you couldn't tell me that I was not going to be the best. So what I did was, I was like, how am I going to start marketing myself more? Like, how am I going to do better? Because at that point I was getting a lot of referrals. People were supporting me. So I started Tip Tuesday. So I became at that point the queen of clean, because consistently every Tuesday I was on Facebook Live, whether I had the baby on my lap, whether there was stuff going on, I was giving people free information on how to clean their house, what products to use. You know, I was answering questions. I was becoming valuable. And from that, I started getting clients. People started sharing my videos. And I went from having 2 views to having 15 views to having 30 views to people being like, Michelle, I need help with this. Can you da-da-da? Like, in my DMs, and I'm giving out free game, And
so like that's amazing. And it just really shows the power of content creation, which is something that I'm all about. I Am Media, plug, if you don't know, is my video company. And that's what we're all about, is content creation for business owners, because the story you just told is an example of what content can do for you. And how can you doubt the power of content these days? Like, I do not understand it. Like,
it's free game.
It's free advertising. It's free marketing. Yeah. It's like, there's all these platforms, they free. At least up to a certain point, they free, and you can do amazing things with them. So let me not get on my soapbox, 'cause like, but how long did that take from when you started the Quick Tip Tuesday to when you really started being able to say, okay, this is actually getting me results? Like, how long was that going on?
Literally within 90 days, I grew. Like, when I tell you that I went from just booking regular little cleanings here and there, like, I became the go-to person in Orlando. I became the queen of clean. Like, when someone on Facebook was like, I need a cleaner, my name was tagged. When someone was like, who's the best cleaner, my name was tagged. Like, and that's what I wanted. I wanted people to know I was the best. I wanted people to know, like, this is what I do. And it was so crazy, like, the growth spurt. It was so fast. I was like, whoa. Because you don't realize, like, I was so focused on being the best cleaner that I lost sight that I wanted to be a great business owner. So I had to take a step back because I was growing so fast. I wasn't prepared for it.
Okay.
So I had to take a step back, and I had to slow down a little bit, because I'm like, I'm in such a demand at this point. I burnt out, because if think about it, cleaning 2 to 3 houses a day, it's very, very physical. So, and see, we're different. We do baseboards. We do top to bottom walls. Like, when I tell you that my cleaning company, it's it. Like, you're not going to be able to find the type of cleaning we do to the quality that we do it, because I believe in my company that much that I set the standard. So if I'm going out, the owner is going out and making sure that things are good. Everybody that surrounds me, that works for me, has to have that same hunger. So I have a whole team of people that I train. I created QCC University, Queen Cleaning Concepts University, where I did tutorial videos on how to clean a toilet. I did, how much product it was to use. I had it down. I have it. I keep saying had, but I have it down to a science of how much product needs to be used. What are the best products to take away certain stains? How much paper towels do you need to be using? Because we need to think about the overhead. Right. If I want to be the most profitable and doing the most, I have to make sure that we're keeping account of everything that goes in and out of the company. So keeping track of that. And I cater to this company because, number one, it was my first business baby. I wanted to make sure that I was the best. And then after that, I wanted to scale it. So
let's talk about scaling, because you just mentioned that you grew so fast that you hit that burnout stage. You hit the wall. Mm-hmm. Like, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much energy you got in your body at any one time. You hit the wall. And so I'm guessing that's the point when you realize, okay, I need to plan this. Like, it's more than just me at this point. Like, it has to be more than just me. Definitely. So what did it take to make that happen? Because, like, you made these systems, you got the Queen Cleaning University, or you developed that over time. I know that didn't happen overnight, but, like, what was the first step into scaling, starting to build that team? Like, what was your first hire? It was
identifying that I needed the help, because I was in denial for a while. I was like, I can do this because the money was so good. I mean, in my first 90 days, I made $17,000. So it's like, all that was my money, right. And as getting into the business, that's where I spoke about shifting my mindset from being the best cleaner to being a good business owner, which is understanding delegation, understanding when enough is enough. And it's not, at this point, you could either keep going for the money, or you can go for being able to scale what you have going on to make more money. Because obviously, if you have a team, there's more people that can be in different places. So the first thing that I did was I identified that I needed help. And I had to come to terms with myself that, because I was so worried about nobody understands my vision. But I never gave anybody the opportunity to understand my vision. Right. So it was allowing that vulnerability aspect and putting it out there that, these are the things I'm scared of. But as long as I go into this understanding what my mission is, and then being able to interview people and see what if they align with me properly, then can we work? So at that point, I created my team. I went on Indeed.com. I put out ads that I was hiring people. I did group interview sessions together. Then I interviewed them separately, because it's more than just cleaning. Like, my cleaning technicians are not just cleaners. Like, I don't just throw them to the wolves. No, you're going to work alongside me. I'm going to make sure that you understand that the back of the toilet got to be clean. Like, you don't understand how many people don't really know how to clean properly. And the thing is, when someone's paying top dollar to have their home, because remember, cleaning is a luxury. Right. That's where people, I think, they get it confused. Like, you can clean your own house, but if you call someone to come do it, and, there's a difference between a housekeeper and a cleaning company. Like, right. We're not housekeepers. We're here to clean your home and then be done with it. So we're not here to pick up all your toys and organize your home. That's a different service that you got to pay for. We're here to make sure that your home is clean. So it's getting people that understand that, and understanding that it's labor. Cleaning is manual labor. So, and in my industry, turnaround rate is like,
I can imagine.
I'm literally still hiring right now. I have interviews on Thursday and Friday, because it's like someone will either, they'll be like, yeah, I got this, I want to be in it. And then you give them 2 or 3 houses and they're like, man, what am I? Yeah, like, this is just a lot. And it's just like, I get it, and as a business owner in this industry, in service-based industry, you have to be understanding that not everybody can handle it, and that's okay. But guess what? There's going to be somebody else that wants that position, that wants to work, and we have to just keep trying until we find that right fit. Right. And that was another thing for me that I had to realize, that it's not going to be a one-hit quit.
Right. And
it's going to be a continual process.
And just to speak to the audience real quick, I think that's one thing that I personally see, especially with small business owners, when they're first launching, or when they first get to that point where they're thinking about hiring additional help or being the reason that they don't ever hire additional help and remain a small 1 or 2 person company is that fear of hiring the wrong person. Well, I mean, if you hire the wrong person and you fire them and then you hire somebody else, you get like did you find the right person the first time you went on a date?
Exactly.
Like it's the same concept.
Exactly. It really definitely is. And and for me, being like, so my family, I come from entrepreneurs. My parents, they own daycares, they owned a cleaning company. So it's in my bloodline. But I had regular corporate jobs. I was HR manager. I did a lot of project management and things of that nature. And I did other startups. I did open up other businesses where I had to do hiring. So I understood the process. But when it comes to your own business, it's a lot different. It's your business. It's your name. It's your values. It's your mission. So when people don't align with it at first, and when you see how difficult it is to get people to understand your mission and your vision, it's like, damn. Am I really going to be able to make this happen? Am I going to be able to produce and get people, enough people to hire so that I can scale my company the right way? Because obviously we know that one bad apple can spoil the bunch.
Right.
So you don't want to have that one person that gives that trouble and gives that problem. Because listen, if I have to beg you, I'm not going to pay you. I'll do the job myself.
Right.
And that was the mentality that I saw with my mother when she ran her businesses, was like, listen, I pay you good. I give you your training. If you can't do the job, let me know and I'll do it myself. Because if I have to go back behind you, what's the point of you being here? And I had to kind of scale back on that mentality in my industry, because people are like, well, you need me. I'm valuable to you. And it's just like,
you are, but you're
replaceable.
Like, yeah.
I'm gonna appreciate you. I'm going to love on you. I'm gonna be the best, boss, because I believe on leadership. I'm not, here to crack the whip on you, but I'm here to also let you know that this is my company. This is my name that's on the line. So if you're gonna do something, I need you to do it right, and I need you to do it right the first time. So that's why we put that implementation in place of training and side by sides and all of those things, because it's really, really important. And at this point, as I've grown and I've been in business now for almost 3 years, it's like I've learned to identify immediately what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Okay.
You kind of just know. It's like when you have kids, you kind of, when you're on your second one, it's like, I don't need to always walk around with hand sanitizer because they're going to get sick anyway. So it's just, it's really dope. You get that perspective, you learn. And one thing for me is I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in business. And I think that with Queen Cleaning Concepts, that's the one that set the tone for me. That's the one that lit the fire, because I'm like, yo, if I can make this work, I can turn that into anything. So what I did was I turned my knowledge with Queen Cleaning Concept into, that's where Amplify Concepts came in. Because I was like, yo, now I can train people on how to open up profitable cleaning companies. Because now I have a blueprint of how to do it. I've failed multiple times. And when I say I failed, there were times where the money management wasn't there. There were times where I had too many employees and not enough jobs. So I was able to navigate through all of those different adversities. And now I'm like, yo, I can teach you how to scale your company. I can teach you the proper way to start it, all of that. So I turned it into another business. And that's how Amplify Concepts Coaching started.
Okay. And just to take a quick moment, I just want to let y'all know how on it this lady is, because while we've been doing this, I think she's been conducting some business on her computer, and she just opened up Instagram and is doing an Instagram live. That, color me impressed. So
I feel now, because like you're like the content guy, so I feel like you're giving me all these compliments. Let's see this setup real quick, guys. Like, let's just give him credit. Like, when you're on it, like, you're on it. This is so dope.
We turned our office into a studio.
Seriously. And so he does podcasts, and I've done many podcasts. I've been on podcasts with many people. I've never seen someone come through with like the whole setup. So I think that this is so dope and so awesome.
I'm
and
fancy.
We gotta give the credit when it's due. So that's dope.
Well, it's like you say, you do things to a certain standard. I try to do things to a certain standard, because I mean, if I figure if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it well. But back to you, because I'm fascinated by your story, and that's I first reached out to you on Instagram a few months ago. Was that while I was in South Florida? Yeah, I think it was. I think I first came across you when I was in South Florida. I was actually on a job, and I was sick. Like I caught the flu from my son, I think, or I'm not sure if I caught it from him or if he caught it from me, but we were both
Y'all
sick.
had the flu.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. But I found your content, and you on I found one of the Instagram pages. He has multiple Instagram pages, which are all active, and so that's another impressive thing in itself. The fact that you got multiple accounts on the platform and they're all actually doing stuff. And the Amplify Concepts coaching, I have this fascination with coaches, business coaches, fitness coaches, mental wellness coaches, like coaches of all stripes. I'm really fascinated because of the changes that they can help people implement into their lives. So you said that you grew Queen Clean Concepts to the point where it inspired you to start that. How did the ball get rolling on that, and what were some of the bumps in the road with getting that business to where you wanted it? Or is it where you want it? Is it still...
Well, Amplify Concepts coaching is definitely something that's still, for me, I'm still learning. You know, as far as I have 10 plus years within entrepreneurship and business, just with other things that I've done. And then that's my background. That's my passion. That's my heart. So one big thing for me, and I'll go back to like how the Momtrepreneur Network started, was that I didn't have what I needed. And when I go back and think, like, I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had somebody that was able to guide me in what I specifically needed. When I think about all those things, it like drew a fire in me to want to provide that for other people. So it's like when I thought, like, you know, because I use my Instagram and everything as a platform to share my story, to share my journey with my boys of how I, you know, have my businesses and how I'm able to be a mom and do both and show people that, you know what, just because I'm a single mom, my circumstances don't determine where I go and what I do. Right. I can still have a legacy for my kids. I can still be a boss-ass mom killing it. Like, I can do all that with having kids. And I think sometimes as women and as mothers, we lose that focus that, you know what, yeah, it's about our kids, but it's about us too. Like, we can't forget about us. So Amplify Concepts coaching, I wanted to hone in on that. But on a wider scale for entrepreneurs, because when I became an entrepreneur, I didn't have guidance. It was just what I knew and what I could learn and what I could teach myself. So it's like now that I kind of like played in the field, got my hands kind of dirty with everything, I wanted to say, look, everything that I touch can turn to gold. That's what I tell myself that every single morning. Everything I touch is going to monetize. So you know what? If I'm spitting out these gems, if I can hop on live and get people's attention and get them in my DMs to ask me more questions about business, then you know what? At the end of the day, someone's going to pay me for my time. Right. And at that point, it's just like, ding, there's another business for me. Now, mind you, I love helping people. I'll never stop helping people. But
you don't have all the time to help everything.
Now my time is limited, and it's just like, okay, so if I'm spending all this time doing this, let me create courses. Let me start creating, you know, different packages for people that I can help amplify their business. That's where Amplify Concepts coaching came in, because I'm just all about it. So I'm still growing that business. I'm still learning. I still take courses. But one thing I do know is I know my shit. At the end of the day, I've been in it. I've been in the mud. I've been in the hustle, and nobody can take that away from me. I have what a lot of people don't, and it's experience. It's experience in failing. It's experience in losing everything and being able to get back up again. In the beginning of 2019, I took a $13,000 loss on my cleaning company by having the wrong people involved in it. And I was able to pick it back up again and really sit with myself and say, is this what I want to do? Do I really want to do this? And regrow my company to then, I was like, you know what? You can try to kill my dream of having Queen Cleaning Concepts. That's my first baby. But we have to remember, at some point, we got to let go. If we want to be bigger, do bigger, dream bigger, we have to let go of where we started. Never forgetting where we came from, but learning on a wider scale. And that's when I birthed Welch Enterprise Services, We Services. It's not about, it's a we thing. So I was like, you know what? I want to be on an enterprise level. I still will do residential and all of that, but I want to be on a level to where I'm in big banks. I'm in call centers. I'm doing janitorial things. I'm doing events. So I picked up my first couple events with 104.5 The Beat and iHeartMedia.
I noticed that you were doing
So I was doing events with the radio station. And I'm like, yo, if I can pick up contracts with a radio station in Orlando, I can do anything. And at that point, that's when I was like, I'm on to call centers. I'm on investment properties. I'm on doing construction cleanup. Like, and now, excuse me, now that's, sorry, my passion. That's what I do now. We do post-construction cleanup, post-renovation cleanup. We still do residential. We work with property management companies and do turnkey. I've even added maintenance into it, where we do minor maintenance repairs for vacation homes. So it's like, I was like, you know what? This happened because God wanted me to go bigger. He wanted me to be bigger. And that's where I was like, I need something that's going to fit that I needed a name that was going to fit that, because once again, it's not about being the best cleaner. It's about being a great business owner and understanding what I wanted for my company.
Awesome. So on this podcast, we tend to focus on the hard times, the stumbling blocks, those big learning moments that you have in your path. So you just mentioned that you had that $13,000 loss, and that was because of people that were involved in your company. So was that where you hired the wrong people, or was
Definitely.
that a partnership situation?
It was where I hired the wrong person, and I fully vet my staff. They do background checks, they do everything, and it slipped through the cracks, and the person ended up stealing. And it caused me, like, I lost my mind. It was crazy. It was a horrible situation. I got everything rectified. And we worked everything out, but it was just something that was just like, and it was someone that was close to me. So it was just, worst. And it's the worst. And it's just like, I wanted to be a helping hand. I wanted to give an opportunity, because I'm all about that. Like, our past doesn't define who we are. So it's like, how can I expect, to move forward being a single mom and having all these visions, but I'm not going to give someone else the opportunity to get out of their mess and to help them out. Right. So it was, for me, not even a poor judgment of character or anything like that. It was just me with a big heart.
Right.
And we have to remember that you can't mix business and personal. You have to remember business is business, and you need to conduct it as such. And I have to tell myself that, because sometimes my heartstrings are like, oh my God, I want to help. But then it's just like, I will never put my business. Yeah, I won't put my business in jeopardy again. So that was, you just have to remember that, a lot of times hiring friends and family are not the way to go,
right.
Because you take that emotion out of it. You take the aspects of, I don't want to yell at my friend because they're doing something wrong, or I don't want to, have to, your family is just like, oh, I'm not going to go as hard because I know you. And it's just like, no. This is my business.
Right.
I'm going to conduct it as such. If you cannot respect that, then you don't need to work for me. And I don't need to have those conversations now, because I don't hire friends and family.
Right.
I keep it very like, listen, you don't know me. You don't know me. We're not going to be a personal level. We can hee ha ha, but when it comes to business, that's where we're at. So, I think that God sometimes puts lessons in our lives for us to grow, and that grew me in a way that now it's just like,
you all about the
no
business.
Nonsense. It's all about business for me. And if you take that personal, then I don't need to work with you anyway, because at the end of the day, we're all here for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to inspire, educate, do what I do. But at the end of the day, I got 2 kids. I got mouths to feed, and I'm not going to allow anybody around me to tear down what I've built, what I've worked for, just because they have nothing to lose. I have everything to lose.
Right.
So for me, I changed my perspective. I changed my mindset. And if you want to call me a bitch for that, I'm the boss. So at the end of the day, I make those decisions. I work that way. And ever since I started running my business with that mentality, I haven't had any problems. And so that's what I'm like, that's what works for me.
And to that point, when it comes to the whole the journey in its entirety, and like, you started the first business as a side hustle, and it just grew to the point where you had to make that decision.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, and to my larger point, is the fact that once you went full force into your business, it started just exploding.
Yeah.
Is that, I think personally, from my experience, from what I've seen, from the things that my friends have gone through, is that you are not going to succeed. You are not going to win. You are not going to build your business to the point that you want to build it to until you put yourself into a position where you have no choice.
Oh, that's for sure. Because I've seen so many people like, oh, don't start your business until you have this and this and this saved.
No.
And don't. You know what? I'm gonna be really candid with you, Alex. I let my job, my 401k go. I let my insurance go, because guess what? At the end of the day, I knew I'm a mother. Before I'm all of these things, I'm a mom. My boys are my world. That's my why. And as soon as I realized that, you know what, no one is going to feed them, put food in their mouth but me, it was like, it's do or die. It's sink or swim. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, when you have people, 2 humans depending on you that can't go nowhere else, you make it happen. I have a job, like my work is my job, but I have not had a corporate job since July of 2017. I have not. I have failed many of times, but guess what? At the end of the day, I know that those boys need me and they need to eat. And I'm not going to let nothing stop that from happening. And for people to say you need to be prepared and you need this and you need that, listen.
No, that's fear. That's talking fear. Yourself out of it.
No.
That's because I went through some of that because I haven't had a job since 2011. That's when I left working at a TV station here in town and started freelancing full time. And I mean, it was scary. It was scary.
It's very scary.
And because I was new to that industry that I was freelancing in, I didn't know the yearly cycles. And so when I got fed up and it's like, I'm quitting, I'm going full time. Like, it was the week before Easter and there was no work the week of Easter or pretty much the week after. And I'm sitting there, just quit. Last paycheck wasn't even as much as I thought it was going to be. What? And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? But I'm still here.
And you know, one reason why, really quick at tidbit, because I want to touch back on that, why I have so many different businesses is because there is a slow season in the cleaning season. Mm-hmm. There is slow season in coaching season. So when one slows down, one picks up. So I always make sure that there's balance in revenue. And that's, for me, that's where I'm like, that's why I can do multiple things, because I'm like, listen, there ain't nothing going to stop me. There's no season going to stop me from getting a check at all, because these kids still need things. Rent still has to get paid. Bills still have to get paid. So money still has to continuously be flowing in. But and to go back to the point of the fear, like, we can let fear stop us and block us from doing anything. You know, the fear of me, like, listen, if I walk away from my job, that consistent paycheck, and now I got my kids trying to depend on me and I can't make it happen, what do I look like? Right. Me not making it happen for them. So for me, there is no other option. And, you know, not everybody, and before we started, we said this, not everybody's built for entrepreneurship. You know, learn to stay in your lane. That's cool. You know, it doesn't make you any less of a person. But those of us that are wolves, that'll go out and hunt, that'll make sure that, you know, our family is straight. Those are the ones that, you know, we can move forward. I can fall, but guess what? I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep running. Nothing is going to stop me. And when I made myself realize that, I tell myself that every day, Michelle, nothing's going to stop you. I've had people make fake Instagram pages and try to take down my business pages. I've had people try to give me bad reviews. I've had all of that. But guess what? I'm still here. And guess what? I'm still going to be here. And with that mentality that I have, no one can stop me. And that's not just me being on some hype stuff. Literally, no one can stop me. And I have that in my mind. I have God on my side. My faith is strong, but it's faith with works. You can't pray for it and not put the work behind it. And the difference between me and a lot of people is I do the work. I do the nasty work, the things that people don't want to do. It's not just about having a logo and having a website and, you know, being with the frilly nonsense on social media. Are you going to dedicate yourself to perfecting your craft? Are you going to dedicate yourself to putting one foot before the other when you don't have it in you? Are you going to dedicate yourself to it when depression is kicking you in the ass and you don't even want to get out of bed? Are you going to put in the work? And that's what you have to question. Like, entrepreneurship is beautiful. I love it. It gives me the freedom that I want to be with my family, to be with my boys. It gives me the financial freedom to set, am I going to make $5,000 this week or am I going to make $10,000 this week? You can make as much money as you want, but are you going to put in the work? And not only put in the work, consistently. Right. You have to have that self-motivation, because do I feel like this every day? No. Do I want to get out of bed every day? No, I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. But guess what? There's an office that needed to be open. There's people that need their taxes done. There's employees got to get paid. Right. So money has to come in. Are you, at the end of the day, can you force yourself? Can you, when you don't want to, can you make yourself do it? And I have self-discipline. I know that, you know, there's people depending on me. And at the end of the day, when I have that in my mind, I don't care if I have the flu, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up and I'm going to keep showing up. And it takes a lot for you to take me out.
It's super tough. And you just got to get comfortable with making those tough decisions. Because, I mean, it's, as a business owner, or even just a freelancer, it's just your life is all about the tough decisions. Because
the risk factors.
Because you got to do things, like you were saying, you got to do things that other people aren't willing to do, but that's why that you can survive, and that's why you can keep money flowing in, and that's why it's more money than most people make in
but
their
it's more
day-to-day.
time. You know,
Right.
you trade in a 9 to 5, but guess what, you are working.
Oh yeah, I work every day.
I work, man, there's some days where I work 20 hours straight, and you know what, I'm not doing a lot of physical work, but my mental.
It's taxing.
It's very taxing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yesterday, I just sat in my room and I cried for a minute because I'm like, yo, I prayed for this. It's here, but I'm exhausted. You know, my mind is all day. I'm on calls. I'm on the computer. My eyes hurt. My body hurts. But it's like, I love it. You know,
Right.
it's like it's
I
that
can't
love.
imagine,
It's that love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I can't imagine going back to work for anybody else. Like, and I mean, I've even toyed with it sometimes over the years. I've applied. Like, I mean, I don't know why people won't hire me. At least not full time. Like, I've applied for places. Like, I got skills. I got qualifications. I'm dope. But like, and maybe it's just some people can look at my resume or whatever and just know
You're
that like
overqualified.
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
You know how many times I've gotten told I'm overqualified, and I'm like, listen, you don't know what I am, okay? Don't tell me what I am. And it's funny because it's like when I used to get into those really bad depressions, because entrepreneurship comes with that, I would start fixing my resume, and I'll be like, okay, forget this. I'm going to start sending it out. And as soon as I start sending it out, the calls start coming in, and I get busy, and I'm like, God, what's going on? Like, I can't take this. Like, stop playing with me. And it's just that resilience. You have to have a different kind of skin. You have to be able to be told no every day until you get that yes.
Dude, and that's another thing with being an entrepreneur in business for yourself. Anytime you're making offers to people, you got to understand that most of the time the answer is going to be no. Or at least half the time the answer is going to be no. If the answer is not no at least half the time, I think you're not priced right.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, like, I had somebody just recently, they jumped into my Facebook, and I try to stay away from giving people quotes and stuff on Facebook. Like, Go through the website, do it the right way. And they were like, hey, you know, I need a cleaner or whatever. And I was like, yeah, dope. Sent them my pricing. They were like, well, my friend's cleaner does the same stuff for $110. So I was like, you know what? Then go ahead and not even like a day later, he was like, all right, Michelle, I'm ready to book you. Because guess what? You can't, my quality is, I know what my company offers. I know what I'm worth. And when it comes to cleaning, if you're paying someone to do that, that means you don't want to do it. For a reason. Cleaning is very taxing. But listen, when you get a cleaning done by We Services, your home is it's refreshed, it's renewed. We don't just come in and wipe your counters. Like, we clean. So I know what we're providing. We're getting your baseboards, we're getting your walls, we're getting your fans, we're getting your Venetians, we're getting everything. So you're gonna pay for everything, right? Because it's time. And if you want what we do, if it takes us 2 hours to deep clean your home, you're paying for the quality, because we're not missing anything. You're paying for the training that I put into these people.
Right. I think, and I think that's, people get it confused because they're stuck in exchanging time for money. And which is how we're trained. This is how the society works. They train you to think
work
in terms of time for money.
And it's like, no.
Right. When it's like, no, I charge by the project because of what goes into it and what you're going to get out of it. And a lot of people don't understand that. Even a lot of business owners don't understand that, especially like with what I do, content creation, media. Like, dude, you do not, like, somehow people think $500 is the magical number. Like, $500 will get them everything. And it's just like,
do you not know the time it takes? And it's like, what I used to be able to do in 4 hours, I now can do in an hour and a half. You're not paying for the 4 hours. You're paying for the fact that I do it so well and done it so consistently that I can do it in an hour and a half. Right. Don't question me, okay? Don't, because I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. We're getting towards the time where we need to wrap the show up. And what I really want to leave people with is, what is, in this 3 years you've been in business, what would you say is the biggest stumbling block that you've come up against? And then what is the biggest lesson that you've taken away from that time?
The biggest stumbling block that I've come in being a service-based business owner is keeping the fluency with employment. That's my biggest struggle because I'm in service-based business, and the standard that I hold myself to, my companies to, it means everything to me. My reputation means everything to me because it's like the bad travels quicker than the good does.
Right.
And we have to be very mindful of that. And I built myself off my reputation of being, with integrity and being knowledgeable in my field and doing it to the best of my ability. So that's probably the biggest block I've had is finding good, strong, solid team. I'm getting there now, and it's taken me 3 years, so it's not something that happens overnight. But that's the biggest thing, and I'm learning to be patient. I'm learning to have discernment and really understanding what do I want as far as a team. So that's probably with that's the biggest thing for me. And secondly, the biggest lesson I've learned is that not everybody supports you. And even the people that you think support you, they don't really support you. And you can't look for that support in friends and family, and focus on the love. Don't focus on who's not showing up for you, because the people that are showing up for you, how do you think they feel when you're like, oh, my friends don't support me, but you have people that are behind you that are like, you got this. And that's one big thing I had to learn was that, you know what? My family may not support me the way I want. My friends may not support me the way I want. But guess what? I have a tribe of people on social media and outside of social media that believe in my dreams as if it was their own. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. And we as people in this generation, we need to remember that it's not about the friends and family supporting. They're not the ones that are going to be buying your products. Right. Remember that as we're business owners, we're exchanging money for services. So it's like, if they're not going to buy your products, don't worry about what they're doing. If they're not reposting, stop complaining about that. Focus on the people that pour into you, that will repost your business, that will do those things, because those are the ones that are going to refer people to you. Right. And when I changed my mindset on realizing that, you know what, friends are not your friends. Those are you have to be so careful, because envy and jealousy run hand in hand with each other when you become a business owner. People, they get mad because you're advancing and whatever, and they want to see you do good but not better than them. That stuff is real. It happens. But just remember that, focus on the love. Focus on the love that you have, the support that you have, because all that other stuff doesn't matter. If you have haters, obviously you're doing something right, but why are we going to focus on them? Right. We're giving them the attention. Yeah, it's I don't got time for you. But you know what? I got time for the people that are encouraging me, uplifting me, sharing my business. I love you. I care for you. Thank you. I may not even know some of them, but guess what? I acknowledge them when they support me and all of that. So the biggest lesson I learned is to focus on the love. Focus on the people that are supporting you, that are there for you, that are consistent, that check on you, that don't ask you for anything, that don't want to pick your brain, that just say, hey, are you okay? Are you good? So those are some lessons that I learned. And, like I said, I'm in my 3rd year now. I'm blessed to be able to wake up every day and do what I absolutely love, which is being a mother and being a business owner. It saves me. This is literally my saving grace. I've learned to channel my energy, channel my hurt, my pain into running these businesses better, because I treat my businesses like they're my kids. They're a part of me. So I do what I love. I'm grateful for it. And I just stay the course. I remember that this is my lane. I created this lane for myself, and I'm not focused on anybody else. I have tunnel vision. It's great. Yeah, I own businesses that many people have, but no one does it the way Michelle Welch does it. Right. And at the end of the day, you can walk down the bread aisle and see there's 20 different breads. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do it well, do it consistently, and hustle it out. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone says. People have opinions. Opinions are like toilet paper. You can wipe your ass and flush it down the toilet. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I know what I'm built. I know I'm built to last. I know that this is for me, and no one's going to stop that. So
right before we get out of here, tell people what's the best place to find you if they're looking for you, whether it's just to follow your content, follow your journey, or whether they need some cleaning done or what have you.
So I am Michelle Welch on Instagram. I am Michelle Welch will lead you to all of my other business pages. Okay. And if you want to find me on Facebook, Michelle Welch, and on I am Michelle Welch, you'll see my cleaning company, tax office, Amplify Concepts coaching, the Momtrepreneur Network. It's an empire. I'm building a legacy for my kids, and it don't stop. It just gets better. So
All right. Well, we have come to the end of this episode of the 1,000 Miles podcast. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. When are you going to take yours?